Hello and welcome to Go Southern Alberta. My name is Leanne Evans and we're down at the YMCA, and coming up on today's show I'll be talking to Mike Christie from the Community Foundation and Gregg Campbell from the YMCA about the Get Active program. And as you can see behind me, the kids are loving it. We have that and much more coming up on Go Southern Alberta. Well, welcome back to the show. As I mentioned off the top, we are down at the YMCA here in Medicine Hat, and I am now joined by Mike Christie from the Community Foundation. Now, tell me about the Get Active grant that the Community Foundation gave to the YMCA.
This is actually this year's second grant we made, so year one for $15,000, and then earlier this year, we made a second grant for $25,000, so total of $40,000 we provided for this program.
Now tell me a little bit about the program and why you decided that, you would give a grant of $40,000.
Well, I think what we quite liked about it was, first off, it was helping our youth get active. And through our Vital Signs program, we were more than aware that, there are some concerns about the amount of recreation some of the kids are getting. I think everyone's quite aware that, there's a bit of overweight with some of our kids, obviously not with these here today, but with some there are, and so the statistics were showing us that. Second, I think what we really liked about it was this was a really good partnership between the YMCA and the local schools, particularly St. Louis School and Elm Street School. So there was professional, proper structured recreational programming that was going to be provided, not by teachers, not even by YMCA instructors, but by different groups, different organizations from within our city, working through the Y to provide proper programs for the schools. That all sounded pretty clever, a pretty good idea. Lots of community involvement and achieving a goal that we think is important. So those factors combined, I think, resulted in us wanting to make a fairly significant contribution.
And obviously you can see behind us, the children are having fun. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I think fun is absolutely great, and we're delighted to be able to see that aspect of it. I think the other thing that was appealing to us was to see from the teachers that they felt the outcome was a better performance academically in the classroom as well. So kids that are perhaps getting well fed, well exercised, are then doing well in school. So, it seemed to us like this was a pretty good program, a win-win for everyone, really.
All right, yeah, exactly. You don't just get the exercise, you get the full outcome.
Well, and kids enjoying themselves. So, imagine being able to come home from school and say, I really had a fun day today and we did all sorts of things. That sounds good. I noticed one offshoot was the teachers joining in as much as the kids. They seem to be getting a benefit from the program as well. So if that means there's a happy atmosphere at school, it sounds like an ideal sort of situation for learning to take place. So it's great.
Absolutely. Now, how can people find out more information about the Community Foundation?
Well, certainly the Community Foundation and all of our programming is the primary place to go is to our website, particularly if people are interested in the grant program that funded this particular example. All the details are there. But I should add very quickly, we wouldn't be able to provide any of this money without our donors. So it's people that have decided to support the Community Foundation that are able to, that have enabled us to be able to do things like this.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having us.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere. We have lots more coming up on our show, and later on we'll be talking to Gregg Campbell. He is the man at the YMCA that is taking the kids out and doing all the activities. So stay tuned. We have lots more coming up on Go Southern Alberta. Welcome back to Go Southern Alberta, and as I mentioned earlier, we are down at the YMCA here in Medicine Hat, and earlier I talked to Mike Christie from the Community Foundation about the Get Active program, and they gave a $25,000 grant to the program. And now I am joined by Gregg Campbell, and he is the one that is putting that money to use. Now tell me about the Get Active program.
Well, I started in May, and this program started in September with Elm Street School, the Get Active program. And essentially what we did was with the help of this grant, we knew of all the benefits to recreation and some of the issues that kids are dealing with, obesity and diabetes and lots of inactivity, and also taking activity into later on in years. And we just had an idea to help kids in lower socioeconomic groups in schools with the idea of getting active every day. So that's basically what we've been doing.
Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, the kids are having great responses to this. They get out, have a lot of fun with this. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having fun is the name of the game. And with it, we teach lots of fundamental movements. They just do it through play and good partnership, good camaraderie and friendship and participation, so to speak. So I think it's been great. We have a coordinator with each school, Elm Street in St. Louis, and they help coordinating each day coming here or myself going over there. And we're just doing a load of different activities.
So, what kind of activities are the students doing? You were mentioning that some of them aren't quite conventional, as we are in a different kind of thing here. This is the Gregg pit.
Yeah.
Now we can maybe tell me a little bit about that and some of the activities that the students are doing.
Yeah, well, the Gregg pit, this has been, we just named it October as Gregg month here, and we bought this pit in the States earlier on in the summer and used it out at the YMCA camp in Elkwater, and they just had so much fun that I thought that this would be a cool way to bring kids together and play. It's really controlled, it's quite organized, and it's the rules are quite simple. It's kind of like dodgeball, but in the pit, and they've loved it. I mean, this piggyback what we did with the canoeing and tennis and other fundamental movements at each school, and from here we move on to skating and curling and lots of other activities.
So not your typical, basketball and soccer.
Absolutely. Well, we that was one of our initiatives, was to do stuff that the kids could do later on in life, and we just, not that Gregg is really convenient for that, but other activities, lifelong activities like skating, hopefully, and potentially hockey or canoeing and kayaking and swimming. We're doing triathlons and karate and yoga and Zumba and those activities.
Now tell me why you think it is so important to have this Get Active program available to the students.
Well, I mean, I've been into fitness and sports all my life, and I think just for kids to feel comfortable with movement and how you move and how you play together, but I mean also just the benefits of we've been reading studies about poverty reduction through recreation first, and we think that that's, I mean, of course, lots of the shelter and food and everything is very important and plays a key role, and yet what would it be like for kids to feel an equalizing a playing field with other kids and being able to play and feel good about themselves, and then take that home and feel confident with mom and dad and with families and teachers. And then we also think if you play for an hour and play hard like this, imagine the good sleeps that they have, and they say better studies at school and in the academic world, and it's a win-win all the way around.
Absolutely. Activity does go a long way in a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We live that way at the Y. Most of the people here are about that. So it's a perfect fit for the YMCA and the Community Foundation, and then along with the schools that we've chosen. And they're starting to see lots of benefits with this, and the coordinators and teachers are telling us that the positive impacts that we're making for them back at school, and that speaks for itself.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Gregg.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, we have so much more coming up on our show today, so stay tuned right here on Channel 10. Well, that wraps up our show for today. Big thank you to Gregg, Campbell, and Mike Christie for telling us all about the Get Active program. If you missed anything we are covering, we are on Facebook at Shaw TV Medicine Hat, and also on Twitter at Shaw TV The Hat. Now, everybody ready?
Yeah!
All right.
Yeah!